Welcome Night Anime Recap. In this video, we will explain Orishura. This anime tells a story of a high school student who only has ambitions to get a scholarship and neglects other things, including love. However, his love story actually started when a girl at his school asked him to be her fake boyfriend to not be disturbed by other male students. Will his pretense of being in a relationship end well for him? Or will their relationship be real? Let's find out in Orishura. Orishura tells a story of a high school boy named Ida Kidu, an otaku and bookworm who rarely leaves the house. Even so, just like high school students in general, he wants to enter a prestigious college. In fact, he was willing to go through his youth without a love relationship, which would only hinder his path to achieving his dream. Ida's parents are divorced, and because of that, he wants to get a scholarship, so he doesn't become a burden. Although Ida rarely hangs out, he has Horosaki Chiwa, a childhood friend who always faithfully accompanies him. She often visits his house to entertain or just accompany him. She knows very well that Ida is a guy who studies hard and has big dreams. Ida and Chiwa attend the same high school, so they always go to school together. However, Ida is so diligent that he still reads the lesson notes even though he is walking to school, causing him to often ignore every chatter that comes out of Chiwa's mouth. A very beautiful and popular girl named Misuzu Natsukawa is in Ida's class. Coincidentally, there was a change of seat on that day where in the end, Ida had to sit next to Misuzu. Because of that, the boys in his class envied Ida, to the point that they even thought he was the luckiest guy in the world. On the other hand, Ida just doesn't care and is indifferent when the world destined him to sit next to the high school angel. His determination to graduate with good grades and get a scholarship is absolute. He doesn't want that dream to be shattered because of something as trivial as love, even though he has a chance to hook up with the prettiest girl in school. But over time, Ida's cold attitude made Misuzu curious and attracted to him. So one day after school, Misuzu finally courageously asked Ida to walk home together. Feeling uncomfortable hearing the invitation, he then asked Misuzu's real purpose for inviting him like that. But she calmly said, "That's because I like you." Suddenly the atmosphere in the classroom became chaotic, and rumors about their relationship began to spread. While walking home together, Misuzu tells Ida why she bluntly confessed to him. It turned out that she was fed up with receiving different student confessions every day. She even admitted that she had received love confessions from men 58 times. But she notices that Ida doesn't seem to pay much attention to romantic relationships, and she has the same understanding as him. She does not want to be involved in a romantic relationship, especially if the relationship is not important. That's why Misuzu forced Ida to pretend to be her boyfriend so that the men would stop approaching her. She even threatens that she will reveal who Ida really is to everyone if he refuses. She knew he was a true otaku because she had read his notebook, full of embarrassing notes. Hearing the threat, Ida couldn't help but obey Misuzu's request. But not long after, they formalized their fake relationship. Ida and Misuzu cross paths with Chiwa, who immediately gets jealous seeing the two of them together. She felt that she had been betrayed by Ida. The next day, Ida and Misuzu's relationship quickly becomes the subject of gossip at school. But Ida can't reveal that he is just Misuzu's fake boyfriend, even to Chiwa, his closest friend. On the other hand, Chiwa, who is still annoyed with Ida, wants to try to get a boyfriend. And unexpectedly, Misuzu offered to help her and created a school club for the three of them. But what Chiwa didn't know was that Misuzu actually just wanted to play with her feelings. And then, Misuzu told Chiwa to confess her love to the upperclassman named Sakagami. Ida knows that Misuzu just wants to make fun of Chiwa, so he asks her to stop helping Chiwa. But in response, Misuzu again threatens to spread Ida's secret notebook if he interferes. That one threat was enough to silence him. The plan then began, and it was time for Chiwa to express her love for Sakagami. From a distance, Ida watched and supported her no matter the outcome. Unexpectedly, Sakagami accepted Chiwa's confession. In fact, He immediately asked her out on a date next Sunday. On the following Sunday, Chiwa arrived earlier than Sakagami at the appointed place. But for some reason, Ida felt that something was off about their date, so he came to watch over Chiwa. He didn't want anything bad to happen to his close friend. Not long after, Misuzu came to see Chiwa's first date. But after waiting for hours, Sakagami never came. He turns out to be dating another woman not far from Chiwa. He purposely didn't meet Chiwa because he just wanted to prank her. She was nothing more than a stake for Sakagami and his friends. As if that wasn't enough, they mocked and humiliated her without the slightest sense of guilt. Ida rushed to save Chiwa even though Misuzu tried to stop him. But he comes in a silly way like a character in a video game. Even more ridiculous, Ida was beaten by Sakagami and his friends for disturbing their fun. At this point, Chiwa didn't stay still. She attacks Sakagami and his friends with sticks until they run away. Ida, who originally wanted to save Chiwa, ended up being saved by her. Worse, he was battered. The next day Misuzu doesn't go to school, and Ida plans to visit his fake girlfriend. But unexpectedly, he met her on the street. He then thanked Misuzu for giving Chiwa the stick yesterday, so she could save him when he was beaten. Unexpectedly, Misuzu admired Ida, who sincerely wanted to help others selflessly. She then presents him with a kiss. But the funny thing is, after that she told him to drink the sewage water because he had kissed her. The next day, Ida is surprised by the arrival of Misuzu and Chiwa at his house. The two of them are still competing for him no matter what. However, it turns out that they are not the only ones interested in him. At school, Ida gets an anonymous love letter in his locker. Misuzu and Chiwa's competition for Ida is getting fiercer day by day, to the point that they don't even hesitate to physically fight each other. And interestingly, Misuzu is getting more aggressive toward Ida because she wants more attention from him. She didn't even want him to pay attention to anyone other than her. One day, Misuzu fell unconscious during swimming lessons due to drowning because she could not swim at all. Ida then provided emergency assistance, which required him to give artificial respiration. He was cheered by many students, but most importantly, Misuzu was saved. After that, Ida accompanies Misuzu in the infirmary until she wakes up. Knowing how he treats her, she becomes grateful to have someone like him around her, even though she only took advantage of him. And after that, their relationship grew closer even though it was fake. The scene switches where Ida gets a second love letter in his locker. The sender asked him to meet her on the school roof through the letter. So, out of curiosity, he went to the school's roof as promised. Then it was revealed that Ida's secret fan was a girl named Himika Sei. Surprisingly, she has something in common with Ida. She is a true otaku who suffers from Chunibyo syndrome. So, in her delusion, she thinks he is the prince she has been looking for. When Misuzu and Chiwa caught Ida and Himika alone, the situation got out of control. Even more ridiculous, Himika, who likes to fantasize, explains that she is Ida's ex-girlfriend. That statement immediately shocked Ida, Misuzu, and Chiwa. Himika is a quiet girl who has no friends. She is always shunned by many people until she finally meets Ida, who also has Chunibyo syndrome. The similarity makes her think that Ida is a charming guy. One day, Misuzu's little sister came to visit Misuzu at school. But it turns out that she only came to mock her sister. She mocks Himika, who has Chunibyo syndrome, which makes her unable to differentiate between fantasy and reality. Knowing Himika is being ridiculed to the fullest, Ida tries to help her from being bullied by Misuzu's sister because, after all, as a former Chunibyo, he understands Himika's feelings. Fortunately, he managed to drive away Misuzu's sister and her bodyguards from the school. The next day, a member of the disciplinary committee, Ai Fuyumi, asks Misuzu to disband her club. For information, Ai is Ida's childhood friend, just like Chiwa. Misuzu refused the disbandment because there was no clear order from the disciplinary committee. Summer vacation arrives, and Ida joins a cram school held specifically for interested students. But there, he was put in the same class as AI. Naturally, this makes AI very happy, and she starts trying to approach him. But because of her tsundere nature, her efforts failed miserably. After the cram school, Ida is forced by Misuzu to come somewhere as soon as possible. He came there as fast as lightning because he was still afraid she would spread his disgrace if he didn't hurry. Once they meet, Misuzu reveals her plan to him. She wants to take advantage of AI so that the club she built doesn't get disbanded. That way, their activities can continue. At the tutoring place, AI again approaches Ida, although she is still unaware of her tsundere nature. She was very happy when the food she made was praised by him. On that day, AI came home with a cheerful expression on her face. The next day, Ida met with Misuzu again to talk about something. But in the middle of the conversation, she suddenly kissed him. It was a gift because Ida had supported her to always be confident and optimistic in dealing with problems. So, without them even realizing it, their relationship became more and more like a real couple. A few days later, after taking the cram school exam, AI takes Ida to a fireworks festival. But he refused because he was more concerned with studying than attending the festival. In addition, AI already has a boyfriend she previously mentioned to Ida, so he feels he has no obligation to accompany her. Surprisingly, when Ida told Misuzu, she suggested he go with AI instead. Misuzu still has ambitions to carry out her plans to make AI fall in love with him so that their club disbandment will be cancelled. He then followed Misuzu's advice, but instead of going to the festival, Ida and AI went to see a movie, and even Chiwa went with them. Misuzu's plan ended up failing. But a few days later, the unexpected happened. AI joins Misuzu's club. But AI's purpose is none other than to approach Ida and confess her feelings to him. One day, there was a play in the club where Ida was required to seduce AI. But he got too carried away, making Misuzu, Himika, and Chiwa feel jealous. After club activities, Ida, Misuzu, Chiwa, Himika, and AI planned to vacation together. They chose a beach in the Yokohama region as a tourist destination, and here Misuzu and Ida's relationship grew closer. They begin to understand each other's conditions and fill in their shortcomings. However, that beautiful moment had to be interrupted when Ida met his aunt. Ida's aunt can guess that Misuzu is pretending to be dating Ida and reveals it plainly in front of all the club members. Fortunately, Ida's aunt was drunk at the time and soon passed out, so Misuzu and Ida's secret was still safe. When Ida and the girls left for the agreed vacation spot. That day Ida was constantly hugged by Misuzu to make the other girls jealous. Even in the carriage, Ida and Misuzu sat next to each other while joking along the way, making Chiwa, Himika, and AI even more jealous. When they arrived at the beach, they immediately spent time together playing on the beach. But after a while, Ida was busy accompanying Misuzu, who became the center of attention of the boys there. Like a true boyfriend, he is always by Misuzu's side to protect her. However, when AI was alone with Misuzu, she suddenly made it clear that she would not forgive Misuzu if she only played with Ida, who AI had liked for a long time. That makes Misuzu have to find a moment where she can make her friends believe that her relationship with Ida is real. Therefore, she asked Ida to kiss her tomorrow in front of the girls. But unfortunately, he did not immediately accept it and instead suggested that they look for another, safer way. But until the day passed, they had not found another plan to do. Until the time comes, Ida still can't carry out the agreed plan. Likewise, Misuzu couldn't kiss him because she knew it would ruin the moment they had together. However, she still wants to maintain her precious friendship and doesn't want any conflict that could destroy the relationship. Now, Misuzu has realized the true meaning of friendship. So in the afternoon, Misuzu unexpectedly took part in a love confession festival held by the beach. She wanted to use that moment to end the fake relationship with Ida. Knowing what Misuzu was going to do, Ida immediately went to stop her. Luckily, He arrived just as she was about to reveal the truth on stage. And with that, he entered the stage and confessed his feelings to her. He really loves Misuzu with all her flaws. And even for Ida, no one could be her companion except him. The love confession marks the end of the pretense in Ida and Misuzu's relationship and the end of Orishura's story. The moral that can be learned from this anime is that if we have found someone we like, just tell them how we feel. There's no point in lying to ourselves.